Hello and welcome. Today I must apologize first about the big mess that I've got around here, and that's mostly because I have an awful lot of side projects that are not quite yet ready for a video. So I do apologize about this. There isn't a whole lot I can do because if I put them away, then I can't do the side projects. So I'd like to jump straight into the subject of today's video. Computers. I know, big surprise. In all seriousness, I want to talk about budget computers because if you're like me, you can't afford DDR5 at all. And for the most part, DDR4 is kind of out the window too. In one of my upcoming videos, I will prove that you can still get DDR4 for kind of a reasonable price at about 20 bucks a stick, but even that's not super great. What I'm going to try to build today is an extreme budget system, potentially less than like 60 bucks, let's just say. And it'll play a lot of games, and it'll render a lot of videos. My goal is to use NVIDIA's NVENC video encoder. So, before we actually get into that, I do have one thing we've got to do, and that is an unboxing. I don't remember who sent this in. There's no note. If you sent this in, let me know down in the comments or shoot me an email. I don't remember if I talked with anybody about this, but we got a lot of cool stuff in here. First of all, we have a bunch of Thermalright C12C. That's a heck of a name. There's 5 fans in here. This is actually really cool. These are nice fans. And I don't have a lot of nice fans. I've got a lot of stuff that I pulled out of computers I found in the garbage. So that is really, really good. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. We'll get to this. Next, we have a Thermaltake Smart 500 watt power supply. This is the, well, it doesn't say whether it's the S3 or not, but this is really good. I do not have a lot of power supplies. I am running really low. And let's see if I've got one right here. Yes. I have plenty of these. I have tons of these. This is a 300 watt kind of generic ATX power supply. It's got SATA. This will power a basic system. What I don't have are power supplies that have, you know, modern things like more than one SATA power, a graphics card power, you know, like a 6+1 or even just a regular 8-pin. An 8-pin CPU connector. I just don't have a lot of those. In fact, this is basically it, minus a couple of really weird ones that I don't entirely trust. So that is huge. Thank you. I really mean that. But that's not all that was sent. Come on. We got a smart 600 watt and a smart 700 watt. So that's really cool. Hey, this has 2 EPS 12 volt connectors. I know what this is going to be used for. I know exactly what that's going to be used for. I appreciate you. I have a large project that I have been waiting to work on until I get a power supply like that one. And finally, we have this 0 FFI HDMI external capture card thing. And this looks really cool. Now, we did just get a used similar device that I do intend to try, but if that one doesn't work, this one absolutely will. And if they both work, well, that means that I get to use this one and my wife gets the other one, because she has been considering doing some game capture. She is an avid gamer, perhaps even more than me. She certainly has more time than me, but either way, thank you so, so much. Every single thing in this box is something that I can use imminently, like within the next couple of weeks. So, you're the boss. Thank you so much. And with that, let's move on with the video. Oh God, this thing's heavy. Oh, oh, and it's still kind of cold. Oh, what did I step on? Oh, it's my OpenSUSE lizard. Okay. Oh, first things first. This came out of my garage, my studio, and it is currently like -3 degrees outside. So I had to let this sit for a very long time while it acclimated to my apartment's temperature. You do not want to power on cold electronics when you bring it into a warm atmosphere, because condensation will gather on the electronics itself, and there's a very, very strong chance that you'll just kill it. Figured I'd get that out of the way. Oh boy. So what we have here, I think this is a T3500? Yes. This is a Dell Precision T3500. These are friggin' everywhere. I mean, I always see them with basically the same configuration. They've got some generic quad-core CPU, like a Xeon W3505 that's what was in here, which is pretty bad, actually. They usually have either 6 or 12 gigs of RAM, usually in 2 gig sticks. So you'll either have 3 sticks or 6. And that's about it. I find these things all day, every day for like 20, 30 bucks on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, whatnot. You don't want to get these on eBay. They are heavy, so shipping will be like 2 to 3 times the actual cost of the machine. So try to avoid eBay in sourcing these. Now, this is not actually a true BTX machine. It's just like an upside down ATX. Whoopsies. Now, full disclosure, I actually tried to record a different video on this. You can find that on my Patreon, so link is down in the description, but this is not the first time that I've opened this. I already know what's inside it. I overpaid for this machine quite severely. I paid $60 for this because it was supposed to be a fully refurbished machine with a brand new SSD. What I got instead was a machine that had 2 dead sticks of RAM, a used SSD, and enough spiders to sink the Titanic. So, I have already done some upgrades to this. I'm going to count this as a $25 machine, even though I paid $60. Why? Because that's how much it should have cost. And because we're not using any of the parts that actually came with it. And because there are 3 more of these for sale right now on Facebook Marketplace for about 20 bucks each that I should have just waited for. So, yep. So that's our plan. What I've done so far is I have removed the bad 2 gig sticks and replaced what I could with 4 gig sticks, a complete random mixture of what I had lying around from computers that I got in the trash. I'm not really going to count those because A, I got them for free and not everybody can get them for free. And B, yes, I'm very organized. But B, because we're going to go ahead and replace them with stuff that I did just pay for. And I paid $3 per stick for this RAM. Now, as for the CPU, what we have in there right now is a Xeon X5650 that is 6 cores, 12 threads, so it does have hyperthreading, and you can get those for $5 on eBay with free shipping. That is friggin' awesome. I also have like 30 of them. So, oh god, those chips were everywhere back in the day. Let's go ahead and cut in some footage from my Patreon video of me replacing the CPU. Sticks. I very much doubt that it'll take 16 gig sticks, but I mean, there's a possibility. Either way, we can get a huge bump in performance and bring it up to almost modern standards by switching in an X5650, which I have in droves. Oh, that is very dry. So let's clean this off real quick, just so I don't get thermal paste all over my fingers. It's very dry anyway. I probably didn't have to worry about that. Ugh. Dry thermal paste ever. Yep, W3505. Okay. I was slightly incorrect on that model number. Now, let's go ahead and grab one of our CPU trays here. One X5650 as ordered. Now, make sure the socket is devoid of thermal paste. I'll clean this off as well. And finally, a little dollop of new thermal paste, which I only just now realized you can't really see very well. I apologize for that. My lighting in here is limited. So this gets popped right back on there. We will worry about the RAM later. I'm going to go ahead and toss this right back on for the moment. And look at that. Wow, the CPU's been replaced. I am unfortunately just realizing that this thing is filthy. So I've got to do something about that. I thought I had a washcloth right around here somewhere. I haven't filmed up here in a long time, so I don't know where everything is anymore. There it is. Yes, on the chair, where it belongs. So let's get this thing clean. And then we will continue on with the actual specs. We'll replace that RAM. Okay, so that doesn't work anymore, but that's fine. Oh, I don't know how well that's going to show up, but ugh. This is disgusting. Professionally refurbished. Look, I'm going to be honest. Oh, if this machine had actually been professionally refurbished, this absolutely would have been worth what I paid, 60 bucks. It might have even been worth the 130 that he was asking. But he also included a Quadro FX5800 graphics card, which does not have Windows 10 drivers, and he included Windows 10. So I didn't have desktop, acceleration for anything. Wow, this stuff stinks real bad. So you can make a small profit off these machines in the right scenario. There's like some Velcro on the back of this that maybe I can peel that off. Yes, I can. Interesting. That's still sticky. And now the sticky's on my fingers because, that's cool. Oh God, this thing is so disgusting. Oh, wow. Yeah, this thing was like covered in spiders when I got it too. Should have been my first clue that the dude did not do a damn thing to it. I wonder how bad the front is. I mean, it doesn't look that bad, but looks can be deceiving. Wow, the USB ports are full of crap too. I might have to get my Q-tip. Oh, hold on. I think the front comes out like, no, that's not it. No. How do you get the front out? There we go. Come on. You bastard. Okay. How bad is it? You can see it, I can't. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's bad. Professionally refurbished my ass. Okay. Wow. Like, this isn't the worst I've seen, but that, oh, that's like solid. These are chunks. Wow. That's real bad. Don't even want to use my my regular washcloth here. I've still got more case to clean. Wow. That's disgusting. Anyway, let's do the right thing. And I'll grab my air duster. And let's coat my wife's game room with mysterious dust. There won't be consequences. Didn't like that at all. No. See, the CMOS battery's missing. Now, again, full disclosure, I don't actually remember everything that I did to this machine. I may have already cleaned some of this. So that's not latched properly. Let's get the side panel done because I want to be done cleaning. Oh, there's another bit of Velcro here. What? Why? That's strange. Anyway, so what we've done so far is acquire the machine for a price that I'm going to count as $25 because, again, you can get them all day, every day for that. These things were a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. No one wants them anymore. They're loud, very loud. They're power hungry. But as I'm hoping to be able to show you, at the bare minimum, they're still more than capable of working in a modern context. Okay. Mine came with an SSD. Yours probably will not. And unfortunately, prices are skyrocketing ever higher. So, $25 for the machine, $5 for the CPU. We're at $30. This is a 256 gig SSD. It is used. It was supposed to be brand new. It is not. You can get these for about $15 on eBay, but more often you're seeing about 20. So far, let's call this a $50 PC. Now, I bought this hard drive on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know how big it is. I know that it says NetApp, and I know that some NetApp hard drives actually have like a special firmware that prevents them from being used in other systems. So we're going to try it anyway. I paid $5 for this. You don't really need this. You can get away. Even today in 2026, you can get away. How do I? That's so. Why is this being such a prick? Come on. You can. There we go. Even today in 2026, get away with a 256 gig drive. I don't want to, which is why I'm doing this, but you can. So this is more just, I want it. I saw it and I thought it was a good deal. So now there is one good thing about this. You don't need sleds. It's all built into this little thing. So let's get this all connected. Oh, that's flipped upside down. There we go. Look at that. We got drives. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is remove all the RAM that I added. Again, this is all just like trash that I found. Looks like it's ECC 4 gig sticks. Funny enough, I'm actually putting ECC 4 gig in there. Oh. What? These are 4 gigs. These are 2 gig. What? Why did I do that? I don't know if I did that intentionally or not, but what we're going to put in there now are 4 gig sticks. There are 6 slots, so it should total 24 gigs of RAM, which, that's not too shabby. I paid $3 a piece for these on eBay. So let's... Oh, even this is disgusting. Oh. Wow. Okay. Anyway, so that's cool. Let's go ahead and get all this in. I'm putting RAM in. There's not a whole lot to see here. Let's skip ahead. Oh, even this is nasty. I thought this was actually clean, but no. It's got like a layer of... This must have been in like a manufacturing setting, because this is just a thick layer of disgust. Ugh. This is like trying to get rubber off or something. This might have been used by a heavy smoker. Well, I can't smell anything but the cleaning agent at the moment, but yeah, that's gross. It's real bad. Believe it or not, the tar from smoking, if this is what I'm trying to clean off here, which it really looks like it is, will actually impede the functionality of your coolers, which is bad. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with this, but X58 is rather famous for dying because the chipset cooler just can't keep up. I'm going to give this a little wipe down. I should take that chipset cooler off and repaste it, but I really don't want to. So, yeah. This blue thing is supposed to, you know what? Let's put our front back on. By the way, this is metal. This isn't plastic. But yeah, that blue cooler is supposed to help divert air. Oh. It's supposed to help divert air from the front fan down over the chipset cooler, which is why these have a tendency to live a little bit longer than their standard desktop counterparts. Oh, nope. Top's not in. Okay, we're good. Oh. Now I can put this down. That's in place. I need something to test with. There's no onboard graphics on this. Got this WX Pro 2100. This actually used to be my video editing graphics card. I know that it works. I used it recently. Should work just fine in this case. Let's just get these extra things out of here. And now we need a screen. Get this cleaning solution out of here. One thing I recently purchased is this. Oh, this is for the garage, or will be. It's real. Can I tighten that actually? Hold on. Yeah, I can. Hey, even better. It's just 4 screws. That's why I got this. It was real cheap. It was $10. And most important of all, this has HDMI and VGA input, which is huge. Okay. And I think I can probably tighten those. Yes. Yeah, it's just loose screws. That's it. That's a lot better. I'm having a good day, you know? That's a lot. You ever just have a good day? Okay. Now I need an HDMI cable. Yes. Someone just donated a bunch of them, but they are in the garage where it's cold. No, I don't want to use that. But I could use VGA. I need VGA cable. VGA cable acquired. I hope that this works. I know the TV turns on, but that's all that I know. Let's get this connected up here. Now, how do I turn the TV on? Ah. Power. Yeah, I got this at Goodwill for $10. And of course, Goodwill uses those stupid tags that don't want to come off. So input. It's going to want the PC powered on before it's going to let me do VGA, isn't it? Okay, I should probably have a keyboard connected. Here's some generic Dell. Good enough. And with that, I guess let's power it on. This is probably going to be somewhat loud. Power it on by itself. Oh, there we go. Okay. So let's see here. Apparently that's a 3 terabyte hard drive. Let's see. Invalid configuration. Yeah, that makes sense. We don't have a CMOS battery. Let's go into setup. Wow, we've got 2 very bright spots on this TV. Not sure if this was such a great pickup after all. Weird. Okay, so we're going into setup. Oh, this has one of the newer BIOSes. Okay, general. It detects all of our memory. That's what I wanted to see. And yep, there's our X5650. So we are doing pretty darn good right now. Let's see, 25 plus the CPU's 30 plus the SSD is 50. Hard drive was $5. That's 55. $18. We'll call it $20 worth of RAM. So we're at $75. A little more than I was hoping to get to, but we do still have a trick up our sleeve. I mean, we could drop down to 12 gigs easy. 12 gigs is plenty. But here's the thing. We're not using this graphics card. I picked up, I've lost it. Here it is. I picked this up. This is a GTX 960. I bought this for $5 on eBay. They listed it as 4 parts, and that was broken. But when I read the actual description, they said that it works just fine if you use DVI or any of the display ports. The HDMI connector has some sort of issue where things turn green and red and stuff, but supposedly this is effectively a fully working 960. This is a great option for a workstation. Now let's get this out of here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to break off this, well, or at least bend out of the way that PCI lock, simply because it's going to get in my way. So let's, can I even fit this in here? Oh, yes, I should probably address the reason that this is such a great system is it has a 6-pin for the power supply. So you can actually install like regular modern graphics cards. There we go. Let's get that in. And if everything works, which I'm going to hedge my bets on everything is working, we can go ahead. That's going to be loud. Oh, nope, I quieted it down. Okay, perfect. We might be good at this point. So let's get this connected back up. I could, at this point, use a different adapter, but I don't want to. Does the 960 work? We have an output. this is fantastic. Okay, so at this point, I just realized I do need to take the side panel back off because we do not have a BIOS battery. I'm running kind of low on these. I need to pick some more up. Here we go. Nothing special about this. It's just a standard 2032. Let's... Boy, these are hard to open sometimes. There we go. Oh, it's up at the front. Perfect. BIOS battery installed. Where'd I put the side panel? Oh, here it is. Whoops. There we go. So we're going to have to set the time and date and all that jazz, but this should be the last time we need to do that. I can't tell you how happy I am that this 960 appears to work. There's no guarantee that there still isn't some problem hiding somewhere, but for now, we're going to call it working. Go into setup. I should get a mouse because this setup supports a mouse. Yeah, this will work. Doesn't support a mouse if you plug it in after it's already in setup. Okay. General. It is January 25th. Did I do that? Well, let me grab my iOD ST300. The seller of this machine included Windows 10 on it, as I mentioned, but we are not going to be using Windows 10. No. If I have my way, we're going to go ahead and install something called Cache OS. I must have hit something. Onboard or USB CD-ROM device. Perfect. Cache OS. Now, I should be able to just run this through the installer. Cache is really nice. It's kind of like Bazite, where it's more or less designed for gaming, and it has a more or less automated script to let you install it. And I shouldn't really need any more input. I am going to steal my wife's Ethernet cord, though, from her PC, as she hates me doing. And with that, I'll see you on the desktop. There are two things that I want to test with this machine. I know that it'll game, but I do still want to test it, at least to show that, yes, this can actually play some games. Now, number two, I want to test video editing, because with 6 cores and 12 threads, even with how old this CPU is, again, we're looking like 2008, maybe early 2009. I'm not exactly sure when the X5650 released, but I am pretty sure it was late 2008 or early 2009. This is effectively like a 17 to 18-year-old CPU. And I think that it'll keep up with modern video editing reasonably well, as long as we're thinking mid-range consumer. I mean, my video editing machine has a lot of threads and a lot of RAM. But it wasn't too long ago that I was running off of an i5-6500. I didn't have 6 cores and 12 threads, let alone however many I have now. And I certainly didn't have 24 gigs of RAM back then. So I want to see, with our wonderful GTX, what do we put in here, 960? It's been about 6 hours since I actually touched this thing. I've been doing other things and cleaning to make sure my wife isn't mad that I'm recording in the game room again. But I want to see what kind of time we can expect for the rendering. So I took the files for my last video, the last one that I posted, and I've moved them to this PC. We're using the exact same program. Yes, it's a different operating system. I have Bazite on my main video editing machine, and this is Cache OS, but I'm rendering on Kden Live on both machines. Same files, same video. I want to see what the time difference is between something that was built not that long ago and something that was built quite some time ago. But first, let's see how it games. Oh, this TV is terrible. But TV aside, we are still seeing over 60 frames per second. Granted, we haven't actually started fighting anything yet, but so far so good, and the load times are comparable to what I see on my modern gaming machine. Let's go ahead and get into a scuffle and see what happens. Obviously there's something wrong with the backlight on this TV, but I don't think it's exceptionally bright in just those areas. I think it's actually exceptionally dim in all of the other areas. Okay, so we have a little stuttering, but this is 1080p. Oh yeah, this is playable for sure. Where's my punch? Lower some settings, and this would be flawless, I think. Also, we are using the X5650. If you went with a slightly faster 6-core, you'd be set. Okay, I've actually dropped the resolution scale down to 80%, and I will say that I've already noticed like 5 to 10 FPS difference, at least in some areas. So I think that it's actually our graphics card holding us back in this game, and not our CPU, which I kind of expected, but didn't know it would be this bad. I like the 960. Still think it's a pretty good card. Okay. Import our media. This is where the importing itself, this is where the CPU being a little older might hinder us a little bit, but so far not too bad. Noticeably slower than my main editing machine, but I mean, again, we knew that was going to happen. So, now, in my main video, I think I started us right around here. Yep, there's the hat. Okay. And I didn't really cut anything else. Just wanted it to play as it was. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. File. Render. Now we want hardware accelerated. NVENC. Let's do NVENC H.264. Auto bitrate. And let's see if this one starts. I have had some issues with NVENC on Kden Live, but I think we'll probably be good to go. Oh, heck yeah. Hey, you know what? This is rendering faster than my actual PC. No way. Is NVENC really that much better than AMD's VCE? Alright, we're rendering at 118 FPS. My main PC, my video editing monster, renders at like 90 to 100. Okay, we're dropping down back to about 100. So I think the only thing to do is to wait and see how much time it actually takes. Ooh, it's warm back here. Okay. This is not the results that I expected. I expected it to be pretty decent, but I just double-checked it on my main video editing PC. Again, mine's using Bazite, but I'm starting to really regret my choice of graphics card. You see, I started off with this low-profile Radeon Pro WX 2100. And a little while after getting this, I figured out, wow, AMD's got this thing called VCE. And it like quintupled the performance in video rendering. That was back when I was on my i5-6500. What I didn't realize is until it had QuickSync, which was faster than this anyway. Now, eventually, with my perceived good experience of that, I moved on to a Radeon Pro WX5100, a significantly more powerful card. But even when paired with a vastly superior system with like 64 gigs of DDR4 and I don't remember the Xeon, I think it's like an E5 2697 V5 or something like that. It's a pretty good CPU. This exact video was rendered in 27 minutes on that system, my main system. It's 16 and a half minutes on this one. So, oh boy. That means that I've been spending way more time rendering my videos than I had to if this is this fast on a GTX 960. I've got a bunch of like GTX 1070s just sitting in my garage. Pefty Lefty sent in a Tesla P4, which I did kind of try to get running, but really didn't want to run. Linux does not like having two graphics chips of different makers, and the Tesla, of course, doesn't actually have on board, so I would have had to pair it with another NVIDIA. It was a whole thing, didn't really work out, but now I'm kind of wondering, maybe I should really try again. But, oh boy. Either way, I am ecstatic with this result. I'm also kind of surprised at how quiet this is. I remember these things being insanely loud. It's not. It's not loud at all. So, yeah, this can still hang with the big boys. Now, Where the heck did I put it? Oh, that's right here. Someone sent in this GTX 1050 Ti. This would be a much better pair for the system than the 960. Number one, it doesn't actually require any extra power, but, you know, with this result, I'm starting to wonder if even like a 1070 would still be a pretty good pair for the CPU. I mean, we're doing good. And in the actual, during the render, we were only hitting about 65% CPU usage, which, if you render videos, you know that means that you are definitely GPU bottlenecked. So even with the 960, we're just not stressing this system that much. Okay, so that bombshell, $75 PC? Oh yeah. Oh, this is, I don't even, it's better than I expected it to be. If I threw a 1070 in here, which granted, you can't get a 1070 for $5, but if I threw a 1070 in here, this would be absolutely way better for video gaming, and probably, in the same vein, better for video editing as well. So, I am really struggling to come up with a way to end this video, but, I mean, it's a good computer, man. I think a lot of people would be very happy with the performance of this. The reason that I think that this is getting such good performance is, I mean, kind of AMD's fault. When Ryzen first came out, the world had been on 4 cores, or 4 cores, 8 threads, for a very, very long time. You know, Intel started that trend with the original i7. Granted, you had the Extreme Edition, which had 6 cores, 12 threads, but most mortals had the standard i7 all the way up through the 975. And they continued that with the i7 2600, 3770, 4770. We don't talk about the 5 series, 6700, 7700. And then AMD dropped the Ryzen series, which just had crazy amounts of cores and threads. And ever since then, the world has kind of refactored around CPUs having a lot of threads, which means modern software can take advantage of all the crazy threads that this CPU has without caring as much about the individual thread performance, which is nowhere close to a modern CPU. So, if you're doing single-threaded tasks, this computer ain't for you. But with that said, we did get some damn good performance. So if you liked this video, feel free to leave a like. I think I might edit this video on this PC. It's quieter than my system, renders faster than my system, and I like it. I like it. But yeah, leave a like if you like this video. Consider subscribing if you want to see more things like this. If you'd like to send in parts to assist me with builds like this, my P.O. box is listed in the description below. And finally, my Patreon is also listed below if you'd like to see all sorts of behind-the-scenes content, including the failed video that I originally tried to make on this. Thank you very much for watching. I don't know what to do. Do I just like steal the graphics card out of this and put it in my system? Do I grab one of those 1070s? What do I do? Goodness.